Okay, I just want to let you know, I apologize, I haven't made any of these videos in, gosh, how long has it been? 7, 8, roughly 9 months. But I gotta let you know, first things first, I'm okay, guys. I mean, I'm fine. In fact, better than that, I feel great. I mean, all I've been doing these last several months is I've been researching a lot more, I've been collecting brand new information, I've been in contact with more people from jigsawrules.com, and they've been generously helping me out with collecting brand new things and doing a little bit more research. And I gotta tell you guys, this excitement I've had balled up inside me, it's back. I mean, I feel like I'm 16 years old again. I mean, I got the passion, the excitement, the researching about more individuals and their backgrounds and their stories and what motivated them and why they were chosen and what they did for the past. I mean, it's all there and I feel great. And it's all thanks to John Kramer. So, yeah, guys, I mean, I'm doing fine. I know it's been a while, but don't worry about me. So, but anyways, I want to address a few things before we move on, and I got to show you all what's behind this door right here that I've been working on these last several months. First things first, yes, I am aware of those recent Jigsaw attacks that's happened recently. And you wonder why I haven't been seeing any video messages or anything like that, why haven't you posted anything like that? And the answer is simple, guys. The person or people out there that is doing these crimes, it's not John Kramer. It's not Jigsaw. And the fact that the media keeps telling you that it's probably Jigsaw or whoever they think it is, it doesn't need to be addressed by me anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because he is dead. He's dead, guys. I showed you in my last video a copy of his death certificate. You don't get much more dead than that. I mean, you saw his photo, you saw the toxicology report, everything. The dude's dead. So it's not him committing these crimes. And I just want to say out there to the person who's doing these crimes, whatever you've done with John Kramer's body, please return it. This is not funny anymore. You're not going to play this game anymore and get away with it. Alright? Now, having said that, I still haven't heard back from Mark. I still haven't heard any messages from the organ donor lately. Which, you know, I guess that's okay. I guess they're fine. I tried sending Mark a couple emails a couple weeks ago, and he still hasn't gotten back to me. But I'm sure he's fine. And like I said, as soon as I get more information from the organ donor, I will let you guys know immediately. But right now, I think it's time for you guys, for me to show you what's behind this door right here. And I want to warn anybody right now, what you're about to see may be disturbing, okay? But for historical purposes, I'm going to show you everything that I've recovered so far. So come with me. No, yeah. Alright, here we go. As you can see, I've been very busy these last couple of months. Everything collected from Mark, the organ donor, potential Jigsaw victims, everything. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Is any of this stuff even real? I mean, did the organ donor just fabricate all this stuff right here? Or did he get credible sources? Well, in 2 out of his 3 boxes, he reveals that some of these items came from the desk of Detective Mark Hoffman. Let's take a look in the first box. We have more hard copy information, such as complete works of fiction, flash drives, including USB drives with more physical hard copy evidence, more cassette players, as well as cassette tapes, not just of Jigsaw, but also somebody else. More on that in another video. His last source of information comes from this box right here. It's a bag full of files from the FBI. And which FBI agent, you ask? Take a closer look, see who this bag belongs to. You guessed it. Special Agent Peter Strom. How he got this bag from Peter Strom after he went AWOL from the FBI, I'll never know. If I had to guess to what happened, when Strom survived his game back at the Gideon warehouse, somehow he went AWOL and took all of the information on the Jigsaw files from the FBI offices, put him in this bag right here, and took it with him so he can go out and go all cowboy and try to solve this case by himself. Unfortunately, I don't think it worked out for him because he wound up dead. As you can see, there is a lot of information here that we need to go over. So, let's begin. This is the story of Jigsaw. In the beginning, John Kramer had a pretty good life. Along with his parents, he grew up with two older brothers, Robert and William. Both of them passed away while serving in the war overseas. John was always a builder growing up. His very first thing that he created was his very own tricycle. This inspired him to become a civil engineer. Years later, he married his future wife, Jill Tuck, and they were expecting their first child, who they decided to name Gideon. For a gift for his son, John created a small wooden toy and named it Bobby in reference to his older brother. He and his business partner, Art Blank, founded the company called the Urban Renewal Group, which is a branch off of John's former company, Gideon. His wife, Jill Tuck, also decided to open a clinic for recovering addicts. But one night, two drug addicts named Cecil Adams and Amanda Young broke into the clinic, and Cecil accidentally caused Jill to lose her baby. Overcome with grief, John grows distant from Art and Jill decides to leave John. Soon after, he is told by Dr. Lawrence Gordon that he has an inoperable frontal lobe tumor. Seemingly running out of options, John tries to commit suicide by driving off a cliff, but somehow he survived. This is believed to be the moment that led John to his path in becoming Jigsaw. His first victim is Cecil Adams, whose body was later discovered by Detective David Tapp, which was covered in razor wire. There was a small jigsaw piece of skin missing from his body, thus giving John his brand new nickname, Jigsaw. The first time that Jigsaw used his new puppet was a test involving two rival gangs. This puppet was nicknamed Billy, which is presumably named after John's other brother, William. The two victims' names were Masaku Ito, which is a member from the Yakuza, and Ronnie Navarro, which is a member from the Blood Eye Dealers. Both men died in a tug-of-war-like trap that involved acid. This jigsaw trap, along with the footage of the Billy doll, gives Detective Mark Hoffman the idea to get revenge on his sister's killer, Seth Baxter. This Hoffman fellow's got an interesting story, but I'll cover that in another video. After creating a deadly game and framing Jigsaw for Seth's death, it is believed that Jigsaw somehow convinced Mark Hoffman to work for him. With victims dying from these traps, such as Mark Wilson and Paul Lee, there was bound to be a survivor. Enter Amanda Young. Believe me, there's a lot to cover with her. She was placed in the infamous reverse bear trap and managed to escape with her life. Having survived her trap, it is presumed that John Kramer took it upon himself to make Amanda Young his new apprentice. One of Amanda's first jobs was to help John set up the bathroom game for Lawrence Gordon and Adam Stanheidt. Both men were chained in an underground bathroom and must find a way to escape. Dr. Gordon was instructed to kill Adam, or else a Jigsaw recruiter named Zepp Hindle would kill his family. It turns out Zepp was poisoned by Jigsaw and forced to do his bidding, which included kidnapping Allison and Diana Gordon, along with other tasks. More on that in another video. Thankfully, Allison and Diana managed to escape with the help from Detective Tapp. Back in the bathroom, Dr. Gordon manages to escape by cutting off his own foot. I mean, wouldn't you, for your family? Zepp Hindle is killed by Adam and is left to die by Jigsaw, which, as we see in the bathroom footage that was leaked to jigsawrules.com, was actually the body in the floor, and he was there the entire time. Crazy. When Dr. Gordon re-emerges a few months later, he claimed that it was Jigsaw himself that took care of him and let him go for surviving his game once he was all healed up. He never could properly identify that it was John Kramer that did this to him. A few months later, Jigsaw creates a new game called the Nerve Gas House. Amanda Young and Daniel Matthews were the only victims to survive. By keeping Daniel Matthews alive, Amanda and John prepare for a new game, this time involving Eric Matthews, who is Daniel's father. Matthews, along with detectives Carey and SWAT officer Rigg, captured Jigsaw at the Wilson Steel Factory. And he practically gave up his identity to the world just for the sake of the game. Jigsaw purposely gets himself captured in order to set up his game with Eric Matthews. Eric fails the test and escapes with Jigsaw in his custody. It was later revealed that Daniel was locked in the safe at the same location that Jigsaw and Eric were in. Daniel confesses to police that it was Amanda Young who was the Jigsaw's accomplice, and that everybody in the house was presumed dead. Jigsaw and Amanda Young would later take Eric Matthews as their hostage for 6 months. As time goes on, John's cancer gets worse, and he decides to plan his final game. All of you better pay attention to this one right here so that the twist makes sense at the end, believe me. First, he has Hoffman kidnap Art Blank, who later survives his own game. He is presumably forced to work for Jigsaw. Later, Amanda sets up her own tests, but makes her games unwinnable, thus making her subjects merely victims. These victims include Detective Allison Carey. With Detective Carey gone, FBI agents Lindsay Perez and Peter Strong take over the Jigsaw investigations. The major pawns in John's final game at the Gideon Meatpacking Factory are Jeff and Dr. Lynn Denlin, a couple on the verge of divorce after their son Dylan was killed in a car accident. Jeff is forced to play his own deadly game while Lynn tries all that she can to help keep Jigsaw alive. It is theorized that during this game, Amanda read Mark Hoffman's letter to her that claimed that she was with Cecil the night Jill lost Gideon, and that Hoffman would tell John what she did if she doesn't kill Lynn Denlin. Meanwhile, Hoffman puts himself, Eric Matthews, who's still alive after 6 months, and Art Blank all in one game for SWAT commander Daniel Rigg. This game allows FBI agent Perez and Strong to suspect that Rigg was the next Jigsaw accomplice. The game leads Rigg to the same factory that Hoffman and Eric are at. From there, Eric shoots Rigg for trying to open the door to save himself, Rigg kills Art, and Eric is killed because Rigg triggered a trap by opening the door. All 3 men die, and Hoffman escapes. After Perez is injured by her trap, Strom enters the Gideon building to pursue Rigg. That's right, Rigg's game took place in the same building as Jigsaw's final game. Because of Hoffman's letter to Amanda, she shoots Lynn, and would later be shot and killed by Jeff Denlin in retaliation. With his wife dying, Jeff kills Jigsaw by cutting his throat with a saw blade. But in one final twist, Lynn dies from a collar trap that was connected to John's heart monitor, meaning his life and her life ended simultaneously. Jigsaw also left a tape for Jeff saying that his daughter, Corbett, was held hostage, and if he wants to get her back, he had to play a game. Strom then enters the room and would later admit to killing Jeff for drawing a weapon on him. Strom is locked in a room by Hoffman, and he emerges with Jeff and Lynn's daughter Corbett from the building as the police force arrive. Jigsaw's game was seemingly over. So with Jigsaw and everybody else dead at the Gideon meat plant, it looks like Hoffman was the only one left and proclaimed to be the hero of the whole thing. Except there was one more survivor. Before escaping, Strom was placed in a trap by Hoffman, but Peter somehow survived. It is believed that Strom decided that Hoffman was somehow associated with Jigsaw, so he decides to go after Hoffman all on his own. There is another Jigsaw game set up by Hoffman. This game would be renamed by Jigsaw Rules fans as The Fatal Five. There were 2 survivors during this game, and they were discovered by Special Agent Dan Erickson. It is around this time that Agent Strom goes missing and presumably was killed by Mark Hoffman. Strom's fingerprints would appear on a few new Jigsaw games as an attempt by Hoffman to keep framing Strong as the new Jigsaw killer. Agents Erickson and Perez return to work with Hoffman to help catch Strom, but it doesn't go well for them, as their bodies were discovered at a tech lab and presumably murdered by, you guessed it, Mark Hoffman. Reporter Pamela Jenkins somehow finds the blackmail letter and gives it to Jill Tuck. She also reveals that John Kramer left Jill a box at his will, and we later found out that it was plans for a game involving Pamela's brother, William Easton. As the CEO of Umbrella Health, William was the one who turned down John's healthcare coverage while he was still trying to find treatment for his cancer.
Who says Jigsaw doesn't hold grudges?
He is placed in another game where 7 of his employees die, but 6 others, including his sister and the Abbott family, survive. Unfortunately, William is killed by being melted alive by acid. Jill Tuck tracks down Hoffman and tries to kill him with a reverse spirit trap that was confirmed to be in the box that John left her. But, once again, Hoffman survives. Hoffman immediately goes into hiding while Jill heads into the protection of the internal affairs. She is granted immunity in exchange for incriminating Mark Hoffman. The last known Jigsaw game that was set up by Mark Hoffman was for a self-help guru named Bobby Dagan, who wrote a book about claiming to be a Jigsaw survivor. Except he really wasn't.
Bobby, you wrote a fake book about surviving a Jigsaw trap while Jigsaw was still alive testing people. Do you not think he was gonna go after you?
Because of this, every one of his business associates, including his wife Joyce, all die in the process, leaving Bobby a true Jigsaw survivor after all. During this game, Hoffman leaves a trail of dead police officers just to get revenge on Jill Tuck, and he succeeds by killing her with the infamous reverse bear trap. After killing Jill, Hoffman disappeared. With Mark Hoffman gone, the game seemed to be finally over. Until now.
This was the photograph sent to the press containing the message that Mark Hoffman was officially, quote, out of the game right now. So is he dead? I don't know. Did he fake it just to get away from the cops? I don't know. Did the police bother to find the bathroom that he was supposedly chained up in? I don't know. But it does raise a lot more questions than answers, now does it? As you can see, there's still a lot more information that needs to be unraveled to you people right here at home. So please tune in next time as I talk about a secret Jigsaw game that happens to involve Detective David Tapp, one that involves his son Michael Tapp, as well as future episodes covering Jigsaw survivors, Jigsaw victims, Jigsaw accomplices, and any other future information that I happen to get along the way. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram for more details. I'm Jacob Walton, and this has been the Jigsaw Blogs.